Gregory, can you hear us? Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. We want to see what you have to say. I know that you're in Dhaka, directly in the heart of it all. So tell us, what's your perspective on everything that's happening and how we got to this point today?
Okay, well, there are a number of fundamental differences which have occurred in the wake of the July 24 uprising. So you can see that how it's playing out in this current election and referendum. Now, the interim government, which was selected with the help of the US, had a rather checkered history. There was a lot of hope after the deposing of Hasina, but this has been brought about tampered by this lack of progress by the interim government. So they had a lot of their legitimacy eroded, and they didn't have a mandate. So the country has been sitting in a form of hibernation until the aftermath of this election.
Yes, of course, we want to know. That's definitely going to be a determining factor with the outlook and seeing how everything unfolds, like you mentioned, after the fact, and not only when it comes to results, but how the process itself was throughout the entire day. So I want to ask you, with reports of 16 political killings leading up to the day, to today, since elections were announced, how influential is the media in escalating or de-escalating the political violence in the region?
It's a bit of both. It's escalation and de-escalation. You can see clearly that different media favour different political parties, and especially the two leading political parties, BNP and Jamaat. And so you can see them aligning with each. So you have a lot of disinformation and other things which you would expect prior to the election. People are quite aware. You of course, before this, I mean, last month, you had the murder of Hadi, who was a popular figure in the uprising and one of the up-and-coming independent candidates who was attacked in Dhaka and died in Singapore. So, and you can see that media were the target, especially Prathamalo, the Daily Star, I think it was. And so media are both a participant and an observer. You have some call for calm and that this is the key defining moment of what they call a new Bangladesh.
Interesting, interesting. Why do you say new Bangladesh under quotes?
Because they're referring to it as a second birthday, the first birthday being 1971 independence. But this is a new birthday after the rule of Sheikh Hasina.
I understand. So onto a different subject. What does holding a July charter referendum alongside parliamentary elections reveal about Bangladesh's structure and the transformation, and what risk does that implement?
Well, it's understandable in some ways. I mean, the referendum is a key thing. There are 84 proposals within that referendum, but only a yes or no. Do you agree or disagree? And it's proposing fundamental changes to the Constitution. For example, at the moment, it's a House of 300 seats. what the referendum proposes is a lower house, but also an upper house, a Senate of 100 seats. And there are a number of other different changes. This is done under the excuse that this is to safeguard democracy and to protect against any future encroaching on those freedoms. However, I think this is also an attempt by the interim government to leave some kind of legacy, because at the moment they are deeply unpopular and a negative view. So this may be an attempt to leave their legacy, because they were hamstrung and unable to make effective decision making in the time of their rule.